Hi, dancers. I'm Dr. Nicky Keay. I'm a medical doctor specializing in dancer health. I'm also a dancer myself. I'm still doing 4 ballet classes a week. So I want to talk to you today a little bit about nutrition and also to bust some myths, I think, and misinformation out there. So what are you aiming to do as a dancer? You're aiming to eat in order to fuel your hormones, and therefore your hormones in turn will support your mental, physical health and also your dance performance. So what are the important things you need to think about when you're looking at what to eat and when to eat it? You're trying to fuel for the work required. So you've got to fuel for what's right for you personally, which may well be different, totally different even, to a friend. Even a friend of a similar age doing the same amount of classes, there will be differences. We're not clones. So that's the first thing to say. You need to fuel according to what you need. And also you need to think ahead. In other words, you need to eat in a sort of a forward-looking fashion. So thinking ahead, what fuel do I need for the day is kind of helpful, because that's what your food does. It's going to give you the energy you need to dance at the next class or rehearsal or whatever it might be. So my top tip for nutrition is actually very straightforward. The first thing is make sure you're having 3 regular meals a day. I understand that lunch might be a bit tricky, so you might have to almost split your lunch in half, but definitely one of the meals that quite a lot of us struggle with because we're in a rush is breakfast. But actually, breakfast is really, really important, sets you up for the day ahead. And each meal, so breakfast is definitely the priority meal, but equally important lunch and dinner. And what sort of things you're going to eat. Of course, it's your own personal preference what particular things you want to eat, but in general terms, when you look at your plate or your bowl in the morning, if you're having a bowl of breakfast or cereal, for example, you want to look and you want to see that at least a third of that plate is occupied by what we call complex carbohydrates. So what do I mean by that? I mean things like bread, pasta, potatoes, rice, cereals, all those sorts of things should actually be the main thing you see on your plate when you're looking at it. The other thing you want to see quite a lot of is protein. Protein can take many forms. So, of course, there's meat and fish. There are vegetable sources of protein, but be aware that actually those might need to take more space on your plate, okay, because they're not so dense in protein as meat and fish. Dairy products would also come under this umbrella of protein, for example, milk, yogurt, cheese, those sorts of things. And the rest of your plate, you can go to town, or even a separate plate, you can have as much fruit and vegetables as you want. Now, I know that sometimes it's said that, vegetables contain carbohydrate. It's true, they do contain some, but not a lot, apart from potatoes. So in order to eat the equivalent of a carbohydrate portion, say a baked potato, what's the equivalent in other vegetables? That would be a lot of carrots. And even if you really like carrots, it's just not possible to chomp your way through that many carrots. So make sure that you've got a good portion of complex carbohydrate at every meal, protein, and plenty of fruit and vegetables. So that is really an important starting point. Why am I stressing so much carbohydrate, you might be thinking? Actually, you need carbohydrate. That is the main source of energy when you're dancing. So in any sort of intense type of exercise, think about grande allegro, you'll definitely be calling on your carbohydrate food types to help you jump during grande allegro, for example. So definitely dancers, we need those carbohydrates so that we can dance to our best and also to recover from the dancing afterwards. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So the main thing to summarize, when you're thinking about nutrition as a dancer, the most important thing that you need to do is make sure you're having regular meals with a good portion of carbohydrate at each. And that will definitely fuel your hormones, and your hormones, remember, those are the key to being healthy and performing to your best. So next time I'm going to talk about snacks, appropriate snacks for dancers, and other considerations in terms of nutrition. So see you next time.